The Ministry of Transport has described as unlawful the increase in transport fares ahead of an engagement with the transport operators. Deputy Minister Hassan Tampoli explains price computation will be determined by a percentage increase in fuel prices after the previous increment, among other factors. He wants transport operators to halt any intended price hikes. We'll engage the leadership of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union shortly. But first, here is a report by Nanayao Jima.
Some commercial transport operators, especially those in the Greater Accra region, have increased transport fares following what they say is continuous increment of fuel prices. Deputy Minister of Transport Hassan Tampoli says the increases in fares should be reversed to allow partner agencies to complete pricing computation.
We have a long-standing arrangement with the transport operators, depending on the movement of price of petroleum products and then also other considerations. We have a situation where we meet the transport operators and together we'll put the numbers up and we'll look at it. If the prices have gone beyond 10% since the last time prices were announced, then we'll look at the quantum of increase. Then we are able to make a determination as to what quantum of increase lorry fares should go. That meeting has yet to take place. And we have called a meeting for the transport operators to come to the ministry for us to have that conversation and the decision can be taken. So for now, that decision has not been made. We haven't had that meeting, and I believe any other person who is charging any fares will be doing so unlawfully, contrary to the established arrangement that we have.
Commercial drivers in the Kumasi metropolis say though the 20% increment does not meet their expectation, they appreciate the move. The station officers at KNUST Junction say they are waiting for a directive from their leadership to start charging the 20% fare increment.
We are happy with the increment. All the drivers are happy, but we are waiting for the prices to take effect.
Oh, you're okay. It deserves about 50%.
We deserve about 50% increase. The 20 is not enough.
20% they were from.
Yeah, the Sha said, but I'm too much on because they say, Lolo, diesel, they be at the Bechibesabia, no mutumus, and I might as well I think.
But passengers are worried about the increment in fares.
It will not help us at all. From Asafo to Ejiso, it's 4 cedis, and from Mankesim to Kumasi, it's almost 60 cedis, but it used to be around 40 cedis recently.
Say no, you better about who? Oh, Mam 20 Ghana, I'm a Tom and if it's my son for so. Na petrol, I ain't to so. Baku, 2 cities, get to a bio. I buy the apparatus. I know, Mum, why I couldn't know why back cry. I also swear. And then you oh, reflect to me. Every friend don't call tomorrow. Young for a car.
For Joy News, Nanayao Jima reporting.
Well, concerns there from the Ashanti region. Let's bring in Samuel Amwai, National Communications Team, member of the GPRTU, Ghana Private Road Transport Union. Samuel, so these are the concerns on the streets of Kumasi, but obviously the ultimate point that we're getting from government is that your action to or decision to increase the prices is illegal. What's your reaction to the claim by the Deputy Minister?
Thank you very much. What I heard from the Deputy Minister that increment is illegal, and at the same time I heard him saying they are now organizing a meeting to meet the stakeholders and all that. We wrote a letter to the ministry dated 15th of March 2022 calling for an upward adjustment of our transport fares based on the agreement we had with the ministry. Right. And by then, the fuel price, was increased by 33%. Meanwhile, we had an agreement that should the fuel price goes up to 10% threshold, then we also have the right to, come for negotiation. We wrote this letter for all this while, up to date, no response from the ministries. And, per the pressure that was coming from the drivers, and at the same time, looking at where the fuel prices was also going up to 11 cedis, 30 pesos. And we keep, knocking the doors of the transport minister, calling them or calling him, to call for a stakeholders meeting for us to negotiate so that the proper thing will be done. And nothing of that sort happened. That is why GPRTU decided to come out with an increment.
Yeah, but the point is, you have, Samuel, the point is you have a convention, something that you normally do anytime you're increasing prices.
Sure.
You have not resorted to the Ghana Road Coordinating Council. You haven't done that in terms of the Transport Coordinating Council. You haven't resorted to them. You haven't engaged government till the very end. I guess that's the basis on which the ministry has a concern with your group.
Yeah, the ministry has a concern. And what the ministry is saying, I believe, I don't know why they were sitting down up to this time before they are coming out. Because you know very well that this letter is lying on your table for all this while. And we don't know whether it's deliberate or we don't know what was happening. And anytime we call on you, you say we should hold on. Meanwhile, we had an agreement with you. And we are also using fuel to run our businesses. Spare parts has gone up. Petrol, the fuel prices is also going up. And we are working and we are losing. It's your duty to call the stakeholders meeting. The time is long overdue. We have written letters. We have written another letter again. And you refuse to meet us. What are you trying to tell us to do? So we have no option because we normally do our calculations, then we send a proposal. Even by the calculation we did, we came out with 30% upward adjustment of the transport fares. Before we start, we consider one or two things before we reduce 10%. Then we came out with a 20%. So all these problems that has happened, we have to blame the ministries. Because why is it that we have an agreement? We've written it a long time, and you refuse to meet us.
Someone last week, for instance, the Ghana Transport Coordinating Council indicated that the sector minister was willing to engage you this week. I guess it was supposed to be Wednesday, which is, of course, within the week. I'm not too sure about the exact dates they gave, but they clearly indicated that the minister was willing to engage your group. Why not take advantage of that?
I told you earlier on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you, Samuel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Samuel, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. I told you, good. I told you earlier on that before we wanted to meet the transport ministry, we wrote a letter, a circular. But what the GRTCC people were saying, are just saying, we've not received any invitation nor any letter indicating that the transport ministry want to meet us. I don't know whether they only wrote to the GRTCC. GPRTU has not received any invitation from the transport ministry, as the GRTCC stated it last week that they want to meet us. So we were lost in the whole thing. We don't know why they came out like that.
So what you're telling us now is that meeting may not even happen, because it was clearly stated there in that release to the media that the minister had clearly indicated that it was going to meet you this week.
Come again. I'm not clear with the question.
Yes, I'm talking about the letter, the release by the Ghana Transport Coordinating Council. They indicated in their release last week that the minister had clearly stated that he was going to engage you this week.
That is a lie. We have not received any invitation. We have not received any letter from the Ministries of Transport.
So what then happens to the prices? Are we going to keep seeing the charges, the new charges that you're carrying out with, which government describes as illegal anyway?
Yes, yesterday the GPRTU held a press conference, and we stated it specifically that the 20% upward adjustment of the transport fare is ongoing. All over our branches, everywhere, they are charging the 20%, and it's ongoing. If today the government, the minister call us to a meeting, yes, we will respond. We will go to the meeting, and we will explain to him why we are charging the 20%. And he also has to explain to us why our letters are lying on his table all this while, and he refused to, call for this stakeholders meeting to sort this problem. Because we had an agreement with you. The agreement is saying that by the 10% threshold, we should meet. We've written to you. The fuel price has been increased 33% up to 40%. We are calling you for a meeting. You are refusing to meet us. So he also has a question to answer there.
If you're watching us now and perhaps you want to share your concerns, you are the one out there paying as well. Samuel Amwa is here with us. Share your concerns with us. The numbers will be on your screen shortly for you to tell us if you're going to go ahead and then pay the new charges, or perhaps if what the situation is, whatever your challenge is with the drivers ever since the increment of the fares. Just share that with us. Samuel Amwa perhaps may take a bite on that and give us some explanations to what's happening. But Samuel, you are already seeing the reactions, and in fact what we're seeing now is the latest announcement that, well, the prices of goods and services are going up. So you are adding on to the pressure for many Ghanaians. Are you not being sensitive, a bit insensitive in this regard?
Yes, there is pressure on the ordinary Ghanaian, and that pressure, I would say, is not coming from us. The reason why I'm saying the pressure is not coming from us is that should the fuel prices come down, this situation wouldn't have happened. And we are using fuel to run our business. My brother, we can't, work at the close of the day, use all the monies we get to go and buy fuel, and at the close of the day, we go home empty-handed. Governments cannot meet their sales. That is why, for all this, why even if we were supposed to go by the 10% threshold, like by this time up to now, we have increased it by 4 times, but we waited. That is why we were also pleading with the government that they should, see to it, or they should consider some taxes. Then they reduced it or scrapped some taxes. Had it not been that, would have come out with an increment long ago. We know how, we understand how the system is. And even we, the transporters, anytime we increase our lorry fares, it affects our businesses. And at the same time, those market women that we send them to their marketplaces to go and buy their food stuff to come and cook for us, when they come back, they also increase their stuffs, and we close and go and buy it. So it goes and hits us back. We are all not happy about what is happening, but all because of where the petroleum product has gone. The prices now. Right. A gallon of diesel is now being sold 50 cedis.
Okay, so I guess Samuel, your concern mainly is about the fuel prices as well. Let's see what consumers out there and commuters are also saying. John Arthur is joining us from Kumasi. John, what's your concern about the increment? John, if you can hear me, I'm asking about your concern on the latest increment.
Yeah, I think that the concern is not. My concern is that the increased price today is not just bad as last week. Hello?
Yes, John, you're on air. So what you'd have to do is to turn down the volume.
The increment it shouldn't come now, because when there's any increase in fuel prices, at least we should wait for the increase. Without looking at the
okay.
To have like before we increase transfer fare. And right. I think that assuming they increase the transfer fare now, and to 1 week time, another increase in fuel price increase on the world market in Ghana, what would they do?
Interesting questions there.
So, and then the increases in fuel to have a pricing scheme, a pricing system, the transfer fare pricing system, where you increase transfer fare, not based on only fuel increases, but spare parts and other fixed cost or variable cost inputs of transport items.
Right. John, thanks for joining us. John there from Kumasi. Let's go to Cape Coast. Okay, now to Tema. Felix is there. Felix,
yes, good afternoon.
Is this Felix from Tema?
Yes, please, Felix from Tema.
Yes. So share your concerns with us.
Please, Beck, I want you to ask the transport union, their boss there, if they say 20% increment, they should calculate for us from Tema, Community 1 to Accra. It used to be 9 cedi, but on Saturday they just started, that is 11 cedi. So I want him to help do the calculation, 20% of that increment for us, or no.
Emmanuel, interesting. Emmanuel is also joining us from Volta. But Felix, thank you for your call. Emmanuel, let's hear you.
Yeah, yes, I think Phyllis was asking of 20% of 9 cities. Yes, the 20% of 9 cities, I understand they say that the drivers are charging 11 cities, meaning they have added 2 cities to it. What they are supposed to do is that the 20% is not up to 11 cities. It's 10 cities, I think 10 cities, 60 pesos or something of that. 10 cities, 80 pesos. They have to charge 10 cities, 80 pesos. So I believe maybe it's because of the small point, but I think as they are calling our attention, we also have to quickly speak to the leaders over there.
Yeah. So I guess I guess you admit the fact that some of your people are charging more than they should.
Yeah, yes, whenever there is an increment like this, some of the places, the 20%, the percentage calculation sometimes. Let's for instance, sometimes when it's about it's hitting maybe 4 cities 80 pesos or 4 cities 90 pesos. Sometimes drivers, because of the change, they sometimes add the 10% to run it up to 5 cities. And sometimes if it's like maybe 4 cities 10 pesos or something of that sort, they also reduce or take the 10 cities off. The 10 pesos off and use 4 cities. So that is what sometimes used to happen. So some of the calculation you can't get it specifically like the way it has to go. But places like maybe where they used to charge 5 cities, definitely 5 cities, 20% of the 5 cities will give us 1 city, and you add it up to make 6 cities. For that one, you get it clearly.
Okay.
That is why I say
let's also
small coins.
Right. Okay. So Sami, just hold on. Let's bring in Daniel from Koko as well. Daniel, let's hear you.
Yeah. Listen, my concern is, you see, we are not sympathizing. Hello?
Daniel, yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah. My concern is, we are not sympathizing with the GBRT for a mere fact that sometimes when the fuel prices hike, they are quick to complain about their loss. When it comes down, they don't complain about their booty they are receiving. Yes, you have a mother organization. That is, we meet here in Roots. They have not responded. Have you made a follow-up? If you have made a follow-up, take, for instance, as they have increased today, tomorrow, if government have taken another decision that, have listened to the plight of the people, so I'm taking offsetting taxes and the fuel prices come down, are they going to reduce the prices? And even if they don't reduce, the money you have collected today, are you going to refund back to the passengers? They should just also bear in mind about the suffering of the ordinary Ghanaian. It's a global crunch we are all going through. Sometimes, yes, we appreciate what they are going through. I am a travel, but sometimes they shouldn't hasten to just increase the prices as they are doing. It's not helping anybody.
Okay, then. Thanks for calling
us. It's not helping anybody.
Thanks for calling us. All right, then. Let's do some more. You can also give us a call, share your concern with us, and then Samuel Amwa will just wrap it all up by taking, giving some responses.
I wish I can react quickly to what the
go ahead,
just said.
Samuel. Yes.
Yes. Sometimes we don't have to forget the fact that this is a private man's business, and the vehicles are not being owned by the government. Let's not forget that. And nobody would like to, do a business that always he or she will lose. The person who just spoke, I believe he also has a business to run. Just understand the ordinary driver who will work, and at the close of the day, you use all the money to go and buy fuel. Then at the close of the day, even he cannot even make up to his daily acts to get something to go home. We should also consider that. It's not like always we say there is a hard economic hardship, and the system is hard, and the system is hard. Yes, the system is hard, but let's ask: should the driver work to sacrifice for the system? Are they also not people that run their businesses to run their homes? Are they not also paying bills? Are they not also rent homes? Are they not also paying school fees and other things? They should also consider the driver. Okay. Ever since from the 7.99 up to where the fuel price is now 10.85, if you do a calculation, meaning it has been increased to about 19 cedis and above. So if a driver who used to buy a gallon of fuel is losing about 19 cedis anytime he buys a gallon of fuel. So in case a driver is using 5 gallons to run his business daily, meaning he's losing almost 100 cedis a day. So these 100 cedis should have been something that money that it can sustain him.
Sammy, I get the point you're making. But Sammy, I get the point you're making. But for instance, when you increase your prices, then it's also having a ripple effect on other commodities as well. For instance, even rent, for instance, you have some landlords going in and say, well, a lot of things are up, transport fares are up, so you'd have to pay more.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yes, so you are the cause of the problem, partly, you agree?
That is the main reason why, right from the beginning, we were not interested in increasing our lorry fares. Rather was, asking the government to scrap some taxes, to reduce some taxes, because we know very well that anytime the transport fares goes up, it affects everything. But we have to also accept the fact that since the thing has gone up and the government is refusing to reduce it, we have no option than to also increase our lorry fares. Else our businesses will collapse. A time will come, they will go to the station and, you will not meet even a vehicle there.
All right.
Quite recently, Ayalolo increased it by 20%. Nobody complained. From Accra to Ashama was 5 cedis. It was increased up to 6 cedis. Just last month, nobody complained. You understand? Even those buses are for the government, but nobody complained.
Okay, so I mean, we need to go. But when next are we having that? Are you having that meeting with the transport minister?
Oh, well, I told you earlier on that actually we didn't receive any official letter from the transport ministry that you want to meet us. But a call came just this afternoon that the minister would like to meet the executives tomorrow. But meanwhile, our chairman wasn't around. Our general secretary, also based in Bolga, he also has other activities because the time was too close. So the information given to him was that the time was too close, and the chairman and the general secretary, was not around, and that we can't attend, that meeting, and that they should reschedule. So that is what they are talking about now.
So that will move to when exactly?
Well, I can't tell for now.
Okay, then.
I can't tell for now.
Well,
yeah.
But Samuel, we're grateful that you've been able to join us. He's a member of the National Communications Team for GPRTU. This is still The Pulse here on the Joy News channel. We'll be back shortly after this break.